The architect scene in Matrix Reloaded shattered everything you thought you understood about the trilogy. Fans spent 2 decades dissecting every cryptic line, pausing the scene frame by frame, arguing in comment sections about what it all meant. But most people still don't get it. This wasn't just exposition dumped into a confusing conversation. If you didn't catch what the architect actually revealed, you completely missed why Neo's story matters at all. You watched 3 movies thinking Neo was destined to free humanity. The prophecy said he was the one. Morpheus believed it, the Oracle guided him toward it. You believed Neo would break the chains and liberate everyone from the machine's prison. But the architect's scene dismantles that entire narrative in 12 brutal minutes. One devastating truth buried in his monologue proves everything you thought was rebellion was actually orchestrated control. Neo enters a pristine white room, lined wall-to-wall with monitors. No color, no warmth, pure sterile logic. Sitting in the center is an elderly man in an immaculate suit who talks like he's reading from a philosophy textbook written by a supercomputer.
I am the architect. I created the Matrix.
He's not human. He's not even pretending to be. He's a program, the original architect of humanity's digital prison. Think of him as the lead systems engineer for the enslavement of the entire human race. "I have been waiting for you," he says with zero emotion. And that's the first clue something is catastrophically wrong. This isn't a surprise encounter. The architect expected Neo, planned for Neo, scheduled this meeting into the system like a mandatory software update. Neo thinks he fought his way here through sheer will and destiny. The architect knows better. Neo was always going to end up in this room. 5 others did before him. The architect isn't here to negotiate. He's conducting what corporations call an off-boarding interview, the conversation you have right before your position gets eliminated, because Neo's role in the system was always temporary, always controlled, always destined to end exactly like this. Neo demands answers.
Why am I here?
The architect's response shatters the illusion.
You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision.
Translation: Neo is a glitch. The Matrix was supposed to be mathematically perfect, every variable accounted for, every human pacified and compliant. It wasn't. Something in the code keeps breaking. That something manifests as Neo, or more accurately, as the anomaly Neo unknowingly carries in his programming. The architect built a flawless cage, and Neo is the rust that keeps appearing no matter how many times the system gets polished. The monitors surrounding the room flicker alive. Dozens of faces appear. All Neo's face. Different reactions: rage, confusion, terror, laughter, denial. The architect drops the bomb.
The Matrix is older than you know. I prefer counting from the emergence of one integral anomaly to the emergence of the next, in which case this is the 6th version.
Neo is the 6th one. 5 others stood exactly where he's standing, heard these exact words, watched these same monitors, believed they were the first chosen savior. Neo processes this with more composure than his predecessors. The monitors show past versions losing their minds, shouting, threatening, breaking down. Neo stays calm and asks the question that matters. There were 5 ones before me? The architect confirms it with cold precision. Precisely. Morpheus doesn't know, Trinity doesn't know, the entire resistance living in Zion doesn't know they're the 6th generation of rebels who thought they discovered freedom. Zion isn't the human resistance headquarters. It's a containment facility. The machines designed it. The rebellion isn't resistance, it's a pressure valve the system uses to manage the humans who psychologically cannot accept the Matrix. Every mind that rejects the simulation gets funneled into Zion, where they're allowed to believe they're fighting for freedom. They're not. They're inmates in a slightly larger cage, and when the population hits critical mass, the machines incinerate the whole thing and start over. The architect leans back and begins explaining the history Neo never knew existed.
The first Matrix I designed was quite naturally perfect. It was a work of art, flawless, sublime.
The Paradise Matrix. No war, no disease, no suffering. A digital utopia where every need was met and every human lived in blissful contentment. Humanity rejected it so completely that entire crops of humans died while still connected. Their brains couldn't accept perfection. Brains that evolved through millennia of struggle, competition, and survival couldn't process a world without conflict. So the architect tried the opposite.
Thus I redesigned it, based on your history. to more accurately reflect the varying grotesqueries of your nature.
The nightmare matrix, pure suffering, darkness and pain in every direction. Humanity rejected that too. The architect is a creature of pure logic. He calculates probabilities down to infinite decimal places. He builds systems based on mathematical precision, but he fundamentally cannot understand emotions, hope, irrational attachment, the illogical impulse that makes a parent sacrifice themselves for a child when every survival calculation says they shouldn't.
The architect couldn't crack the human psychology problem alone. He needed help from someone who thought differently.
Thus the answer was stumbled upon by another, an intuitive program, initially created to investigate certain aspects of the human psyche.
Neo realizes immediately the Oracle, the kindly grandmother figure who gave him cookies and cryptic advice, the woman who felt like humanity's ally. She wasn't a rebel. She was a program the machines created to study emotional behavior and psychological patterns, and she discovered what the architect missed.
As I was saying, she stumbled upon a solution whereby nearly 99% of all test subjects accepted the program as long as they were given a choice, even if they were only aware of the choice at a near unconscious level.
Choice, the illusion of free will. Humans don't need actual freedom. They just need to believe they're making their own decisions. Red pill or blue pill, fight or surrender, wake up or stay asleep. The choice itself is irrelevant. What matters is the psychological sensation of agency. That one trick made 99% of humanity accept their imprisonment without question. But the system had a fatal flaw.
While this answer functioned, it was obviously fundamentally flawed, thus creating the otherwise contradictory systemic anomaly.
That 1% who rejected the Matrix even with choice programmed in, their minds couldn't be fooled. They woke up, unplugged themselves, clawed their way to the real world and built Zion from nothing. They started families, raised children who never knew the Matrix, prepared for war against the machines. Left unchecked, that 1% would grow exponentially. More people waking up, more rebels breeding, more humans rejecting the system. Eventually, the rejection would spread like a virus until the machines lost their power source entirely. The machines need human bodies generating bioelectric energy to survive. They can't allow the infection to spread. So what do? They don't stop it, they manage it. They let Zion grow. They let the rebels build their city. They let them think they're winning battles, making progress, getting closer to victory. And when Zion's population reaches a specific threshold that threatens system stability, the machines deploy the Sentinels and exterminate every living person. Then the cycle resets. Zion gets rebuilt. New rebels arrive. The pattern repeats forever.
You are here because Zion is about to be destroyed. Its every living inhabitant terminated, its entire existence eradicated.
Neo can't believe it. Denial floods his face. The architect delivers the killing blow with mechanical indifference.
This will be the 6th time we have destroyed it.
5 generations of humans believed they were the first to discover freedom. 5 generations thought they were finally going to win the war. 5 generations died believing their sacrifice mattered. They were wrong every single time. The pattern isn't random, it's engineered. Zion reaches critical population. The one emerges from the anomaly code. The one fights their way to the source. The machines reset the system every 100 years like clockwork. And the one isn't the revolutionary destined to break the cycle. The one is the reset mechanism. Neo's purpose was never liberation. His purpose is system maintenance. Upload the anomaly code back into the machine mainframe so it can be debugged. Then select 23 people from the Matrix, 16 female, 7 male, to restart Zion from scratch while the machines exterminate everyone else. The previous 5 ones all did exactly that. They stood in this room, heard this speech, understood the mathematics, and made the logical choice. They walked through the door that saved the species. They sacrificed Zion to preserve humanity's survival. They acted rationally. The one isn't humanity's savior. The one is the janitor who cleans up the systemic mess every century so the Matrix can continue running smoothly without catastrophic failure. Neo feels the trap closing around him. The architect's response is chilling. It's not a bluff. If Neo refuses to reload the anomaly code, the entire matrix crashes. Every human plugged into the system dies. Combine that with the simultaneous extermination of Zion, and the human species goes extinct. The machines would lose their power source, but they've calculated the risk. They're willing to accept it. Neo hasn't done the math. He's operating on emotion. Then the architect reveals why Neo is different from every predecessor. The previous ones loved humanity as an abstract concept. They cared about the survival of the species in general terms. Philosophical love, collective love, the kind of love that makes the trolley problem easy to solve. Neo doesn't love humanity as a concept. Neo loves one person, Trinity, and she's dying right now. The monitors show her in real time, fighting Agent Johnson on a rooftop, a bullet tearing through her chest, her body falling. Neo watches her die, and something breaks inside him that mathematics can't model.
Two doors materialize in the White Room. The architect gestures toward them with the casual indifference of someone who's already run every simulation. Every previous one chose the right door. Logic over emotion, the many over the one, species survival over personal attachment. They made the rational choice, and the system continued. They let their loved ones die and saved humanity. The architect has modeled every probability. He's calculated every variable. He knows what Neo will do. The architect watches Neo's neural patterns in real time. He observes the neurochemistry of love overriding survival instinct. He sees the irrational decision forming before Neo consciously makes it. Every data point says Neo should choose rationally. Every predecessor chose the right door. Every simulation the architect ran predicted compliance. Neo turns toward the left door, the door that leads to Trinity, the door that dooms Zion, the door that ends the human species, the door that breaks 6 cycles of perfect control. The architect speaks one final line. Neo doesn't hesitate. He turns back one last time and delivers his own verdict. The architect responds with absolute certainty. Neo walks through the left door. He chooses Trinity over humanity. He chooses one life over 7 billion. He chooses irrational love over cold mathematical logic. Every calculation the architect built his entire system on, every prediction model, every probability algorithm pointed to Neo making the species preservation choice. But Neo is different from the 5 before him. He's not the first one to love. He's the first one to love someone so specifically, so completely, so irrationally that no equation could capture it. The previous ones had attachments. They had people they cared about. But their love was diffuse, spread across humanity as a philosophical principle. Neo's love is a laser. It burns through every logical argument the architect presents. Trinity matters more than the entire human race, not because she's more valuable, not because saving her makes strategic sense, simply because Neo cannot exist in a universe where he doesn't try to save her. The system the architect designed was perfect, mathematically flawless. It controlled every variable that mattered, except it didn't, because the most powerful human force isn't the one that can be modeled, or predicted, or contained in probability distributions. It's the willingness to make the wrong choice for the right person, to doom billions for one, to act against every survival instinct because something matters more than survival. Neo races back into the Matrix. He catches Trinity as she falls. Her heart has stopped. By every measure that matters, she's dead. Neo refuses to accept it. He reaches into her code and restarts her heart manually, doing something no one has ever done before, because no one ever loved someone enough to break the rules this completely. Trinity opens her eyes. The cycle shatters. The Matrix wasn't destroyed by prophecy. It wasn't broken by kung fu, or bullets, or philosophical enlightenment. It was broken by one man deciding that the person he loved mattered more than the algorithm demanded, more than logic allowed, more than the survival of his species justified. That's what the architect scene actually means. Not riddles, not dense philosophy, just a cold, precise program discovering that humans can't be reduced to equations. The architect believed he understood human nature completely. He'd run millions of simulations. He'd observed countless generations. He'd calculated every emotional variable. But understanding something intellectually and experiencing its full force are different things. The architect knew humans were irrational. He didn't know they could be irrational enough to choose extinction over loss. That level of irrationality broke his system. The scene everyone fast-forwards through on rewatches is the scene that explains the entire trilogy. The architect wasn't the villain. He was the narrator finally telling you the truth you refused to see. Your heroes were always pawns. The war was always rigged. Freedom was always an illusion. Zion was always controlled. The prophecy was always a management tool. Everything you believed was rebellion was actually just a more sophisticated form of control.
Until one pawn refused to play the game. Neo walked through the left door and with that single choice destroyed centuries of machine dominance. Not because he was stronger, not because he was smarter, not because he was more enlightened, but because he loved someone more than he feared the consequences. Because when the architect forced him to choose between logic and love, between species and individual, between calculation and irrationality, Neo chose the thing that can't be programmed. The architect's perfect system shattered against the one variable mathematics can't predict. A human being willing to let everything burn for one person who matters more than everything. That's not heroism. That's not destiny. That's not prophecy fulfilled. That's just love operating at a frequency the machines never evolved to understand. The architect calculated everything except the one thing that mattered most. Neo didn't save humanity by being the one. He saved humanity by refusing to be what the one was designed to do. And in that refusal, in that single irrational choice, he proved that humans will never be fully controllable as long as they're capable of loving someone more than they love their own survival. The architect built a prison perfect enough to hold every human impulse, except one.